warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Fadia Salsabilla Putri. I'm a student of Pancasakti University Bekasi. I here to fulfill my assessment. I want to tell you storytelling about Rapunzel. Please enjoy. There was once a man and a woman who had long in vain wished for a child. At length, the woman hoped that God was about to grant her desire. These people had a little window at the back of their house from which a splendid garden could be seen, which was full of the most beautiful flowers and herbs. It was, however, surrounded by a high wall, and no one dared to go into it because it belonged to an enchantress who had great power and was dreaded by all the world. One day, the woman was standing by this window and looking down into the garden, when she saw a bed which was planted with the most beautiful rampion, Rapunzel, and it looked so fresh and green that she longed for it, and had the greatest desire to eat some. This desire increased every day, and as she knew that she could not get any of it, she quietly pined away, and looked pale and miserable. Then her husband was alarmed and asked, "What aileth thee, dear wife?" "Ah," she replied, "if I can get some of the rampion, which is in the garden behind our house, to eat, I shall die." The man, who loved her, thought, "Sooner than let thy wife die, bring her some of the rampion thyself. Let it cost what it will in the twilight of evening." He clambered down over the wall into the garden of the enchantress, hastily clothed a handful of rampion, and took it to his wife. She at once made herself a salad of it, and ate it with much relish. She, however, liked it so very much, that the next day she longed for it 3 times as much as before. If he was to have descended into the garden in the gloom of evening, therefore he let himself down again. But when he had clambered down the wall, he was terribly afraid. For he saw the enchantress standing before him. "How canst thou dare," said she with angry look, "to descend into my garden and steal my rampion like a thief? Thou shalt suffer for it." "Ah," answered he, "let mercy take the place of justice. I only made up my mind to do it out of necessity. My wife saw your rampion for the window, and felt such a longing for it that she would have died if she had not got some to eat." Then the enchantress allowed her anger to be softened, and said to him, "If the case be as that thou sayest, I will allow thee to take away with thee as much rampion as thou wilt, only I make one condition. Thou must give me the child which which thy wife will bring into the world. It shall be well treated, and I will care for it like a mother. The man is his terror consented to everything. And when the woman was brought to bed, the ancestors appeared at once, gave the child the name of Rapunzel, and took it away with her. Rapunzel grew into the most beautiful child beneath the sun. When she was 12 years old, the ancestors showed her neither starries nor dirt, but quiet at the top was a little window. When the ancestors wanted to go in, she placed herself beneath this and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down thy hair to me." Rapunzel had magnificent long hair, fine as spun gold, and when she heard the voice of the ancestors, she unfastened her braided tresses. One them brown one of the hooks of the windows above, and then the hair fell 20 ells down, and the ancestors climbed up by it. After a year or two, it came to pass that the king's son rode through the forest and went by the tower. Then he heard a song which was so charming that he stood still. Her solitude passed her time letting her sweet voice resound. The king's son wanted to climb up to her and look for the door of the tower, but none was to be found. He rode home, but the singing had so deeply touched his heart that every day he went out into the forest, and standing behind a tree, he saw that an enchantress came there, and he heard how she cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let me down thy hair." Then Rapunzel let down the braids of hair, and the enchantress climbed up to her. "If that is the ladder by which one mounts, I will for once try my fortune," said he. And the next day when it began, to Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down thy hair. Immediately the hair fell down, and the king's son climbed up. At first Rapunzel was terribly frightened when a man such as her age had never yet beheld come to her, but the king's son began to talk to her quiet like a friend, and told her that his heart had been so tried that it had let him have no rest, and he had been forced to see her. Then Rapunzel lost her fur, and when he asked her if she would take him for her husband, and she saw that he was young and handsome, she thought, "He will love me more than all them Godel does." And she said yes, and laid her the hands in his. She said, "I will willingly go away with you, but I don't know how to get down. Bring with thee a skein of silk every time that thou comest, and I will weave a ladder with it, and when that is ready I am distant, and thou wilt take me on thy horse." They agreed that until that time he should come to her every evening. For the old woman came by day, the enchantress remarked nothing of this, until once Rapunzel said to her, "Tell me, Dame Godel, how it happens that You are so much heavier for me to draw up than the you king's son. He is with me in a moment. Ah, thought wicked child, cried the enchantress. What do I hear the say? I thought I had separated the from all the world, and yet thou hast deceived me. In her anger, she coated Rapunzel's beautiful tresses, wrapped them twice around her left hand, seized a pair of scissors with the right, and snip snap they were cut off, and the lovely bride lay on the ground. And she was so pitiless that she took poor Rapunzel into a desert where she had to live in great grief and misery. On the same day, however, did she cast out Rapunzel the enchantress. In the evening fastness the breath of her which she had cut off to the hook of the window. And when the king's son came and cried, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let me down. The king's son, ashamed but did not find his desert Rapunzel above, but the enchantress, who gazed at him with weak and venomous look. Aha! She cried mockingly. Thou halt fetch thy dearest, but the beautiful bird sits no longer singing in the nest. The cat has got and will stretch out the eggs as well. Two of her thirds wetted his eyes, and they grew clear again, and he could see with them as before. He led her to his kingdom, where he was joyfully received, and they lived for a long time afterwards, happy and contented. Thank you.